Tomorrow night, you're going to watch a football match. England, Argentina, a World Cup semi-final, 90 minutes for a place in the final. Except, that's not what this is. Not really. Because when these two teams walk out of that tunnel, they'll be carrying 60 years of lore. A stolen match. A real war. The most infamous goal ever scored. And the most beautiful one, 4 minutes apart, by the same man. This is the full story of why England and Argentina hate each other. And once you know it, you'll never watch this fixture the same way again. Wembley Stadium, July 1966, World Cup quarter-final. England and Argentina had history before this, but it was ordinary history. Two proud football nations. Respect even. That died in 90 minutes. The match was brutal, fouls everywhere. And in the 35th minute, the German referee sent off Argentina's captain, Antonio Ratin. Here's the thing. Ratin didn't leave. For 8 full minutes, the captain of Argentina stood on the Wembley pitch, refusing to walk. He claimed he couldn't even understand the referee. The man spoke no Spanish. To Ratin, he was being thrown out of a World Cup by a referee he literally could not talk to. When he finally walked, he did it slowly, deliberately. And on his way out, he sat down. On the red carpet, reserved for the Queen. 10-man Argentina held out for almost an hour. England scored late and won 1-0. And then England's manager, Alf Ramsey, finished the job. He physically stopped his players from swapping shirts with the Argentines, and in the press afterwards, he called them, quote, animals. That word crossed an ocean. In Argentina, this match has a name. El Robo del Siglo, the robbery of the century. To this day, many Argentines believe 1966 was rigged for the hosts. England went on to win that World Cup. Their only one. Argentina went home with a grudge, and for 16 years, that's all it was. A football grudge. Then it became something else entirely. In the South Atlantic, 300 miles off the coast of Argentina, there's a group of islands. Britain calls them the Falklands. Argentina calls them Las Malvinas. Both claim them. They have for well over a century. In April 1982, Argentina's military government invaded the islands. Britain sent a task force 8,000 miles to take them back. The war lasted 10 weeks. More than 900 people died. Most of them were young men. Many of the Argentine conscripts were teenagers. Britain won. In Argentina, the defeat helped bring down the dictatorship. But the wound it left didn't close. And now the rivalry was no longer about football. Every match after 1982 carried the weight of real graves, which is exactly why what happened 4 years later became the most mythologized 90 minutes in the history of the sport. Mexico City, June 22nd, 1986. World Cup quarter-final, England versus Argentina. Their first World Cup meeting since the war. Both camps said the same thing before kickoff. This is only football. Nobody believed it. 114,000 people packed the Azteca. And on the pitch stood a 25-year-old from the slums of Buenos Aires who happened to be the best footballer on planet Earth. Diego, Armando, Maradona. For 50 minutes, nothing. Tension, heat, no goals. Then came the most infamous 4 minutes football has ever produced. Minute 51. A miscued clearance loops into the England box. Maradona, 5'5", rises against the goalkeeper and punches the ball into the net with his fist. The referee doesn't see it. The goal stands. England are furious. Argentina lead. Afterwards, Maradona described it with a grin, in words that became scripture. The goal was scored, quote, a little with the head of Maradona and a little with the hand of God. The hand of God, the most controversial goal in World Cup history. And here's what makes this match mythology instead of just scandal. 4 minutes later, minute 55. Maradona gets the ball in his own half. He spins between 2 England players and he starts running, 10.5 seconds, 60 meters, past 1, past 2, 3, 4. The goalkeeper makes 5. He slides it into the net. FIFA later voted it the goal of the century, the greatest goal ever scored. Think about what you just watched. The dirtiest goal in history, the greatest goal in history. Same man, same match, 4 minutes apart. Against the country his country had just lost a war to. Maradona said it himself years later. They'd claimed it was just football, but everyone knew what had been lost in the Malvinas. He called the win revenge. Argentina won 2-1, then won the whole World Cup. In Argentina, 1986 isn't a tournament. It's a founding myth. In England, the Hand of God is shorthand for being cheated on the biggest stage there is. One match, two nations, two completely different religions built on the same 4 minutes. And the law was only getting started. 12 years later, World Cup, France, 98, round of 16. Guess who? This match had everything, a penalty each inside 10 minutes. Then an 18-year-old named Michael Owen tore through the entire Argentine defence and scored one of the great World Cup goals. For half an hour, England were dreaming. Just before half-time, Argentina equalised with a genius free-kick routine. 2-2. And then, minute 47, the moment that defined an era of English football. Diego Simeone fouls David Beckham. Beckham, face down on the turf, flicks his boot at Simeone's leg. Barely a touch. Simeone collapses like he's been shot. Red card. Beckham off. England play more than an hour with 10 men. They survive to penalties and lose. Of course they lose. And England needed someone to blame. They chose the 23-year-old with the red card. Beckham received death threats, bullets in the post. Outside one London pub, fans hung an effigy of him from a lamppost. One flick of a boot. That's law too. The rivalry had become a curse, and the curse now had a face. 4 years later, World Cup 2002, group stage, England, Argentina, a penalty, and standing over the ball, David Beckham. The man whose life had been made hell by this fixture, staring at a chance to answer it, against the same opponent, with the whole world watching. He absolutely leathered it, straight down the middle, 1-0, England won, and Argentina, one of the tournament favourites, crashed out in the group stage. The curse had flipped, the story had come full circle. And then, silence. The two nations never met at a World Cup again, until now. So, tomorrow night, England versus Argentina. Their first World Cup meeting in 24 years. A semi-final, a place in Sunday's final on the line. 60 years of law walking out of one tunnel. The ghosts of Wembley 66. The weight of 1982. The Hand of God. The goal of the century. A hanging effigy and a penalty that answered it. 90 million people will watch a football match, but you'll be watching the next chapter. And whatever happens tomorrow, it's going straight into the law. If you want the next chapter the moment it's written, the full law of the 2026 final drops this weekend. Subscribe so you don't miss it.